Guess you and your friend stole something from a store and you tried running from the police?
Yeah, that was the first time, bro. Damn, how the know this shit? What the God damn.
I'm the feds, man. I'm the feds. I know everything.
Yeah, bro.
Did you really offer Tony Yo millions of dollars to not do live TV interviews? I didn't want him to do it. He always says some stuff I wouldn't say alike, and I don't know why he th enough involved in it for him to have to say that he got stabbed that day, right? He didn't get stabbed up with that. Okay, Jewish is not a race, but we've made it a race because we kind of is would you be Ashkenazi? Would you be considered Ashkenazi? I'm an Ashkenazi Jews, and I'm an Ashkenazi Jew, and I'm on like United and in first class, and 50 Cent walks in. I'm like, oh, underscore, we haven't seen each other like 10 years. You know, like in the last interview with Yayo's like, oh, 50 Cent hates you. We're not going to do interviews anymore until you know 50 Cent going to pay me millions to do it. Quit talking to that Vlad dude. He's a fed. That's 50 Cent's straight up warning to every rapper out here. After DJ Vlad allegedly tried to set up comedian Godfrey, 50's been dropping receipts, calling out Vlad's deep connections to the feds and the power players pulling strings in the entertainment game from the shadows. And I guess you and your friend stole something from a store and you tried running from the police. Yeah, that was the first time, bro. Damn. How to know these? What the got 'em? I'm the feds, man. I'm the feds. I know everything. Yeah. Bro DJ Vlad built his name acting like the culture's voice, interviewing rappers, insiders, and street legends. But behind the scenes, word is he's been cozy with federal agencies for years, using his platform like a slick trap to get black artists jammed up. And it's not just rappers. Sources say he even tried to line up Godfrey. And when that flopped, he brought in folks like Aries Spears and Lord Jamar to trash him on camera. Vlad thought he could gaslight the backlash, but the mask is slipping. And now 50 is exposing the darkness. And he is right there, sitting there, taking photos with Vlad. Damn near have the same shorts on. Lord Jamar, it's been 5 years. Yeah, it's been a minute. I feel sorry for there was, yeah, you gotta sell something. But they're like a soul. Yeah, you gotta sell, you got like, how much does a soul cost? He's telling everybody to stay off VladTV because according to him, Ukrainian-born Vladislav Lowy, better known as DJ Vlad, isn't a real DJ, and he's not a real journalist either. This is DJ Vlad. I only bring this up because everybody doesn't know who he is. His name is Vlad. So, it should, hit your mind like this is what a Vlad could look like. But people don't be thinking that. They be like, Miss Vlad. And some people know, maybe you did, but if you didn't know this, what DJ Vlad looked like, this is what he looked like. In 50's eyes, this man's an industry plant working not just for the government, but for the hidden hands behind the whole system. Sound like a wild conspiracy, maybe, but 50 swears the receipts are real and disturbing. He even says Vlad's so dangerous, he once offered to pay people to avoid him. 50 claims he'd give his own man, Tony Yao, millions just to never sit down with Vlad again. But 50 didn't just stop there. He went straight at Vlad's neck. He made Vlad pull down a whole video where Cal Dawson was talking about the night 50 got lit up back in 2000. Vlad had titled that Cal Dawson was in the car when 50 Cent got shot 9 times. Cal got shot also part 3. Did you really offer Tony Yo millions of dollars to not do VladTV interview? I didn't want him to do it. He always says some stuff I wouldn't say like, and I don't know why he's doing it. It's not enough involved in it for him to have to say that. MHM, you be calling him after like, yo, why did you don't know why you talking about me? Like, what is wrong? You have to stop it, bro. You have to find other things to do. But when 50 caught wind of it, he posted the screenshot on his IG, slapped a giant fraudulent stamp across it, and demanded, I want this video taken down now. Whatever Vlad did, he clearly knew he was in the wrong. The clip vanished almost instantly. But here's where it gets even dirtier. This whole mess with Godfrey exposes just how shady Vlad really is. It all traces back to 2020 when Vlad interviewed D.L. Huey and decided to take shots at Minister Lizzie Farrakhan. Vlad straight up twisted the man's words, accusing him of calling all Jewish people Satan and telling folks to throw rocks at them. But that's not what Farrakhan said at all. He was speaking metaphorically, telling people to pick up the stone of truth against so-called Jews lying about being true Jews. Still, Vlad's version lit a firestorm. Feel this is coming off the heels of a Farrakhan's 4th of July speech where he said, those of you that say you're Jews, I will not give you the honor of calling you a Jew. You're not a Jew. You're so-called. You're Satan. And it's my job now to pull the cover off of Satan. And he went on to say, like, every Muslim, when they see a fake Jew, grab a rock. And this is kind of what I feel is the energy. And a lot of people look up to Farrakhan. Big names checked him for flat-out lying. And Godfrey was one of the loudest voices saying Vlad didn't misquote by accident. He was planted to stir chaos and division in the black community. Those of you that say that you are Jews, I will not even give you the honor of calling you a Jew. You're not a Jew. You're soul when you know who Satan is. Yes, sir. You don't have to kill him. No, the stone of truth. See, that's what you throw. We cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you're on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth. Godfrey went straight to social media and dropped a video with the caption, VladTV is canceled. We have to protect our culture from vultures. That's like me lying on Rush Limbaugh. Let's say Rush Limbaugh. You know Rush. But if I go Rush Limbaugh said that he wants everybody, all the black people to die. If I lied, I owe him an apology. He didn't say that. Period. He didn't say it. You know what I mean? You can't just be Lee, and that's a dangerous thing. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I would rather have the NOI on my side. Yeah, I'll take the Nation of Islam, any goddamn thing. He then announced he was linking up with Lord Jamar, Miss the General, and Royce59 to officially boycott VladTV, calling Vlad out for refusing to apologize after spreading false, disrespectful claims about Minister Farrakhan. Then Godfrey hit the crowd with a bombshell most folks didn't even know. DJ Vlad is married to a black woman, yet he still gets rich off negativity and black pain. Me, Lord Jamar, my son, the General, and Royce the 59 from Eminem's camp, we've all decided to join forces and just stop doing Vlad TV. If you guys don't know Vlad TV, it's on YouTube. It's an interview show, pretty much an urban interview show, because most of the people he's interviewed for the past 10 years have been all black people. Not too long ago, he made some statements about Minister Farrakhan, which weren't true, and were not fair even if you don't like him, and as a Jewish man. He feels that Farrakhan insults his people. Fine, you can feel the way you want to feel, but lying on people does not work. That's not cool. I don't care who it was. It could have been Maxine Waters. It could have been Al Sharpton's corny, but you lie on somebody, and then you get the truth told to you, and you end up being looking, you should apologize. Issue an apology. Even big companies that black people all the time issue apologies so they can get that money. You know, we need to stand on code, protect our culture, just like Vlad decided not to apologize. He wants to protect his culture. Okay, so we stood on ours. So, we're not going to be unsubscribed to Vlad. You all should unsubscribe to Vlad. If you're African American, you have some integrity. But here's where it got even grier. At first, Lord Jamar was riding with Godfrey, blasting Vlad for not apologizing and vowing never to go back on the platform. Both of them were once Vlad TV regulars, and Jamar agreed that boycotting was the only way to stand on principle. But when it came time to really hold the line, only Godfrey stayed solid. You know, you can't just, it's everybody. You can date black women and marry them, and all of a sudden you can't respect us. No, I'm getting a little tired of that. Getting a little tired of being used monetarily, and that's any culture protects their culture. If black people say anything bad about any culture, we have to apologize right away, just like Nick Cannon did, right? So, I think if you insult us, you should apologize to us. We are not animals. We are not some amusement _ ride that you can get on when you want to. Well, this ride is derailing for his decision. No hate, just business. Jamar quietly slid right back to Vlad for interviews and collabs. And worse, he even teamed up with Vlad to clown Godfrey, saying he ain't solid. And Vlad, he pulled his same old trick, twisting a black man's words. This time claiming Godfrey disrespected his family. Fans weren't fooled for a second. They saw Jamar breaking his own boycott and calling Godfrey fake as the definition of nasty work. On top of that, Jamar actually reached out to Vlad, a white man, to make peace, but didn't even bother to hit up Godfrey, who had done nothing to him. I actually ran into Godfrey. So a week or two earlier, and, I'm there, my security's with me. So as I see he's coming out, we both stand up and, he's walking by. I said, "What's up, Godfrey?" And first thing he does is put out his hand and shake my hand. And as I'm shaking his hand, I said, "You and I need to talk." I looked Godfrey in the eyes, as we're shaking hands, and I said, we need to talk. He goes, "Okay." And he runs off real quick, never to be seen. Well, I know somebody that still talks to him. So that person gave me his current phone number. So I texted him and I said, "Yo, this is Vlad. We need to talk." And he never responded. Hey, yeah, I can't speak for him. Well, you and him just had a falling out. Yeah, I don't even want to get into it, man. Because he's just not a solid dude, man. I always had, I knew from the minute he said, "Let's just take a break." And we discussed. We didn't say nothing about no breaks. Watching it was painful because Vlad sat there grinning in Jamar's face during their interview while Jamar nodded along to every word like it was gospel. And here's the kicker, because I feel like he was the most outspoken. He was the one that was doing interviews saying I should be canceled and talking about my family and stuff like that. So, if anyone should have a conversation with me, I think it should be him. But clearly, for whatever reason, he doesn't want to have that conversation. Jamar was the same one who swore up and down that Godfrey would be the first to crawl back to Vlad. So of course, Godfrey had to check him, remind him of what he said, and call it for what it was, selling your soul. But the beef runs deeper. Back when Godfrey still appeared on VladTV, he actually used that platform to tell Vlad straight up that he doesn't believe he likes black people. One moment that stuck out, Vlad complained that America would go broke if it paid black folks reparations. Godfrey clapped back, pointing out how the U.S. has no problem dropping trillions on defense or sending money to certain so-called allies. Now, it makes perfect sense why 50 Cent is willing to throw millions at his people just to keep them off Vlad's couch. It's not just about the constant disrespect. It's about those alleged deep ties to the feds and the claims he's helping fill prison cells with black men. For years, rappers have walked into VladTV thinking it was just another interview. And he's right there, sitting there, taking photos with Vlad. Damn near have the same shorts on. Lord Jamar, it's been 5 years. Yeah, it's been a minute. I feel sorry for him because there was, you gotta sell something. But they're like a soul. Yeah, you gotta sell like how much does a soul cost? Then got blindsided with questions. So specific it felt like Vlad had their case file in hand. He'd bring up old charges, street beefs, and names that never hit the press. Stuff he had no business knowing unless he was plugged in with law enforcement. No. What I'm saying is 10 million people, black people. Black people who would get that. Yeah, it would bankrupt the whole country. It would bankrupt the whole country. But for the people that built the country to make you the money, yeah. You understand? All of a sudden now you worried about being bankrupt when you spend trillions of dollars on defense, trillions of dollars on unnecessary trillions of dollars to send black men, especially to jail. Trillions of dollars to up our whole country. Trillions of dollars to food up, the air up, the water up, trillions of dollars to sea, to make people sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker in this country. But you mad. We don't have the money because, and this is what I think, and this is what I believe. You just don't like black people. Plain and mother simple. You do not like black people. Like the time he somehow knew Lil Baby fought a white dude in prison. Something Baby had never said publicly. And that last part when Vlad hit someone with, "I think you said it." That's a straight-up Fed tactic. It's designed to make you doubt yourself, so you never question the real question. Some rappers have already peeped game like Lil Woody, who flat out said he's 100% sure Vlad's working with the feds because of the way he frames things. And it ain't just rappers. Remember when Agent Vlad tried to lure Mike Tyson into naming his street connects? Or when he went after a black woman professor at Princeton University trying to jeopardize her job? It all popped off when Vlad decided to jump into the Kendrick versus Drake beef and threw shade at Kendrick's Not Like Us, saying it needed a better mix. Okay, you got into a fight with a white dude. Exactly. Was it like a racist thing? Was it like whites and blacks kind of clicked up in there? How you know that? Well, that's just how prison is most times. I'm talking about how you know I got into it with a white dude, though. That's when Professor Morgan Jerkins clapped back. You are white. This is a black folk affair. Instead of letting it go, Vlad tagged Princeton's official account and wrote, "Wait, so a professor at Princeton is telling me a white person shouldn't be allowed to speak on hip-hop. Is that how you talk to your students? When you come out the street, we got real spider sense, and they go off. They tell her like, yeah, something ain't right. Feeling like cool. Soon as I get shaved in hand, something ain't right." When I sat down and started talking to Vlad knew how to ask questions the same way the police did. Like my whole childhood, I watch cops. I watch how the police 48. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I know their strategy. And then when Vlad asked me a certain question and I lied to him, I saw the look in his eyes. I thought he got mad. I said, "Oh, this a lie? It was over here for me." You know what I mean? Oh yeah, he the police. There's nothing else could tell me. But he didn't stop. After Jerkins clarified she meant the conversation should center black voices, Vlad fired back. Zip was kind of the go-between between like Puffy and all the Southside Crips maybe. You know what is it? Here you are this multimillionaire and, it seems like you've always been attracted to the guys that are still in the streets to a certain degree. Do you think that's a fair statement? You think I'm attracted to them? Well, not attracted to them, but I mean you like having them around. You're friends with them, and you maintain, I like having them around. I'm just asking. You think I'm friends? What do you think? You think I like having them around? You just spoke nicely about Zip, so I just thought, yeah. I don't know who these guys are. When you talk, what do you say about me? I'm this big whatever I am, right? But know who those guys are? Those are the guys that when I'm whoever I am is a nobody. I mean, those are the guys that live in the same building with me. They get my mother salt or sugar if they need a milk. They're the same guys. Don't try to change your words now. I'll be reaching out to Princeton about this on Monday, basically threatening to snitch to her employer over a tweet. And here's the hypocrisy. Not long after, Vlad had the audacity to call out Nicki Minaj for coming at Rock Nation, replying to one of her posts on X with Snitchy Minaj. The replies lit him up instantly with one person saying, "You literally bring rappers on your platform because you're an informant." But see, Vlad's pattern goes way back. This isn't some new thing. Over the years, people have pointed out how his interviews magically line up with law enforcement agendas. Artists go on his couch thinking they're just promoting music. Then boom, they're trending the next week because something they said is now in a police report. Even Boozy has said in interviews that Vlad asked questions like a detective, not a journalist. And it's not just about the questions, it's when and who he targets. Somehow, it's always black artists with active cases or street rumors, never the mainstream white celebrities with their own messy scandals. And then there's the bigger question. Why do so many industry insiders still mess with him? Some say it's because Vlad's got deep pocket backers and media ties that can make or break careers. Others believe certain rappers keep going on VladTV because they're already cooperating in other ways. So, it doesn't even matter what they say on camera. Either way, 50 Cent's warning is starting to sound less like paranoia and more like a survival guide. Because at the end of the day, Vlad doesn't just ask random questions. He comes with dates, names, addresses, and details you couldn't Google, even if you tried. And if he's not getting it from open sources, where is it coming from? That's why 50 is willing to pay millions just to keep his circle away from that setup. To him, every interview with Vlad is a loaded weapon. And the second you sit down, you're already in the crosshairs. So now the picture's crystal clear. DJ Vlad isn't just some harmless interviewer asking innocent questions. From twisting words to pitting people against each other. From threatening jobs to poking around in street politics. He's been playing a dangerous game for years. And the crazy part is he's still getting big names to sit on that couch. Whether it's because they don't see the trap or they think they're smart enough to dodge it, one thing's for sure. The moment you're on VladTV, you're giving him something he can flip, edit, or hand off to the people watching from the shadows. That's why 50 Cent isn't just talking. He's ready to put money on the line to keep his folks away. Because in his eyes, Vlad's not just an interviewer. He's an industry plant with a direct pipeline to the powers that be. And once you realize how many careers and lives have been wrecked right after those friendly sit-downs, it's hard to call it coincidence. This ain't the kind of game you want to play. Somebody even reminded folks how Vlad ran straight to the feds after Rick Ross allegedly sent someone to rough him up. One commenter went in saying, "You and your master Jay-Z got a literal CIA informant as your CEO. Nobody cares about snitching, not even you, loser. Stay out of black folks' business. Don't make us call Rick Ross." But here's where it gets crazy. Insiders are now whispering that Vlad's next target might be 50 Cent himself. Word is he's plotting to bait 50 into some legal mess or spark beef just to take him down. Why? Because Vlad's not just running a YouTube channel. He's a mouthpiece for the real power players behind the curtain. The ones using him to control and silence hip-hop's biggest voices. So, the next time you see your favorite rapper walk into that all-white studio with the big black couch, ask yourself, is this just an interview or the start of a setup? But if Vlad thinks he can come for 50 and walk away clean, he's got a storm coming his way he ain't ready for. If you're rocking with this breakdown, make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, smash that like, and share this video. Because stories like this, they're just the